Hare Krishna and Namaste. So today I'm going to be talking about something that a lot of you find interesting. You like these, everybody seems to like these videos, and I like to make them because I really like talking about spiritual things and what makes me happy. So the first question that I get asked a lot is, why do I make videos mostly about Hinduism? There's most of my videos are somehow related back to Hinduism and spiritual practices. So why do I do it? And my thing is that not a lot of people understand that there are a lot of different people from a lot of different cultures like following Hinduism. People don't realize that. They get really surprised, like, oh, you follow Hinduism? And they ask some pretty odd questions sometimes, but I don't mind. I want to try to get knowledge out. I'm not here to judge anybody. I just want to get knowledge and positivity out there. And people are just like, oh wow, like really? And I wanted to make a video documenting my journey throughout this process. And I know there are two very special people that inspired me to do this channel, and that is Sarah Laundrie and the White Hindu. Sarah Laundrie, I looked up to her for a very long time. Back in the day, she talked about things that like why women wear bindis, in the Vedic culture. Like, why are they important? Why is wearing, why is different clothing articles so important to Hinduism? Like the bangles, sometimes you see a lot of like drawings during like Diwali and like Holi, like the Rangoli designs, what the meaning behind them and stuff like that. She used to do a lot of videos about that, and some of the things, like for example, I never agreed with her guru. She has videos about that now, and I'm going to link them down in the description, but I never really agreed with him, but I really liked her as a person. And I liked how she was going through her journey. She was genuine. She was completely like she didn't have like any negativity towards really anybody, and I like that because I also don't have any negativity towards any other religions. It's just that this is what I am following. The White Hindu, I found her and Sarah at the same time, and I started watching their videos to see like, oh, there's more people who are following it, following this path that I'm on. And yes, there are some things that me and her also don't agree on, but I really do like her as a person. She is married to a Buddhist, and they have a very cute baby. I'm not sure how old the baby is now. I think she had him about a year ago. She hasn't been posting much, but the cutest baby. She has a lot of good insights. She had a video on how to make your own sindoor, your own bindis. She's just a creative and wonderful person. I highly suggest you check out both their channels. I love them. Another thing basically is about why I'm documenting this is that a lot of people think that when Hinduism, when they think of Hinduism, they think of India. They don't think of like the other cultures that are in there. Like, you can be from any culture or any background and follow whatever path you want to follow. And that bothers me sometimes when people are like, oh, culturally appropriation. There was this one girl who for the longest time would follow on my Instagram account, and she would constantly yell, you're culturally appropriating Indian culture, like you don't even know how to tie a sari right, you don't know how to do henna. And it's just like, I don't know what I did to you. And it's just kind of like, you have to ignore those people, or you can help build them up and help them grow knowledge. And what I did is I direct messaged her, and I just gave her knowledge, and when she like pushed me away and she was nasty back towards me, I just left it be. I didn't try to, over-explain myself. I'm just like, hey, I understand why this may be upsetting, but you just can't win everybody, I guess you would say. you have to pick your battles. And I choose not to fight most of the time because I don't think it's personally worth my time or my energy. And that's just how I left it. And yeah. Another question is how did I get put into the Hare Krishna movement? Or why do I consider myself a Hare Krishna? My journey into Iskcon is a little, it's not fully developed. I read my Krishna book every night. I do my Japamala. I chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I try to do at least 2 rounds a day, and I keep this around my neck because I know now how, it's like over my heart, so I know I have to get it done eventually. And so I just do it for, I don't personally think that you have to wear your Japamala constantly, but I do it because this is how I remember what's important to me, and it makes me feel like I gotta get this done. This is really important to me. It's over my heart. I need to get this done. So that's why I wear it around my neck a lot, and I try to get at least 2 of them done. Sometimes I do more. Sometimes I only get 1 round done. Sometimes, when I was, really had a lot of free time, during the summer and, last semester, I would do at least 10 to 12 rounds. I can't do that anymore. I have so much stuff, just piling on, and I just have to get so much done, which really sucks, but I'm trying to get as much spiritual knowledge as possible. I'm taking Bhagavad Gita classes now it's Tuesday. Every Tuesday I try to make it to them. Last Tuesday I got called into work, and I was really upset about that, but you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do. And so I read the notes really good, and I go over the chapters if I miss it. I really want to get the spiritual knowledge. And people ask, well, why did you choose this? You had a Ganesh statue. Do you not worship him anymore? You used to have Shiva and Ma Parvati. I still worship them. They are still very, very important deities. It's just now that I consider Krishna the Supreme Personality, and I constantly worship him. And that's the thing, I don't have anything against any other section of Hinduism or any religion in general. I still go to church. I will go to a service if asked. I'm not going to deny it, saying, oh, no. If somebody says, please, if this is really special to me, can you please come to this church event? I'm going to go. I don't see why we have to separate ourselves from different religions. Because all religions have the same core, I believe, and that's to be a good person. That's just the core of the other paths. And Hinduism is the same way. We believe that we need to be a very good person in order to receive good karma, and therefore we can be with Krishna. Or we can reincarnate if that's what happens to us. And speaking on that note, is what drew you to Krishna? I was at work one day, I was doing pancake bar, and this girl who's my age comes up to me, she's like, are you Hindu? You have a bindi. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you gotta go to this thing that happens every Tuesday. I'm like, well, what thing that happens every Tuesday? She's like, there's a meditation group. We chant bhajans, we do chanting, we do yoga. It's really fun. We danced, and they have good food at the end. And I just said, you know what, sure. What's the harm? So this was a Thursday. And so I marked in my phone Tuesday. And I went there even an hour early to make sure that I got the right spot, I was in the right area, and oh my goodness. When I was waiting there, and Dolly, she's now my sister, and Durga and Perry are now, my sisters, and Dolly's brother Shakar was there. I knew, I just oh my goodness, they're these people are just so nice, they're so welcoming, they talked to me a lot, and they were really interested in why I was there. And the minute that I stepped into the room and they set up Krishna, like I don't understand how to explain this, but I was just drawn to him. And the more and more I read about him, I see him just as like a cute little baby, and then I got to see him as like a strong, warrior type thing. And I was just like, wow. And then every time I read, like, I can read every story about Lord Krishna, and I would never get bored. I would never feel like, oh my goodness, like I've read this or I've seen this before, like I'm tired of it. I want to keep reading more about him, and that's what really drew me in. And I'm like, this has to be it. This has to be who I'm meant to worship. This is the Supreme Personality of God. And I just kept reading and reading, and the more I chanted, the more I was singing about him, the more I was drawn to him, and the more and more, like, I wanted to worship, I wanted to feed him, I wanted to, do services for him. And the more I got involved in Krishna consciousness, the more I became at peace, the more I became happy, the more I just felt like love, like eternal love. And even to this day, like if I'm really upset, I will blast Krishna music and I will just feel so happy. And so that's what really led me to Lord Krishna. Like I only read maybe one story of Lord Krishna before that day, and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting, but I'm like, I worship Ma Parvati, Durga Ma, Shiva, Ganesh, like, no, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I know it's a wrong thinking now, but I was still back in what I would call my Christian mindset, I guess you would say, where basically in Christianity, if you worship anybody but God and Jesus, you're in the wrong. And I was still in that mindset that maybe, this isn't right. But now I know that even though Krishna and Radha are the supreme, the demigods they still need love, they still need to be worshipped, they still need all the stuff that as Krishna does, but Krishna is like the supreme, he's like the controller of everything, and that is how I came to be in this mindset. I know that some people may disagree with me, and that's okay. Everybody has their own opinions, and everybody should be entitled to it. And I'm sorry that this is kind of like a rambling video. I sometimes don't know how to put my feelings of Krishna consciousness into complete words, because I'm still like, it's just a very intense emotion that I have towards Krishna and Radharani. I very much see, it's really weird, I very much see Krishna as a child. It sounds weird, but I do. When I envision Krishna, I see him as like under 15 and just this naughty little child that's so magical and so wonderful. And yeah, I really hope that this video isn't too rambly. If you have any more questions, please ask below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.